Hi, thank you for watching. I hope that was informative for you. And we've got some questions and answers now, so we're going to go through them. And we've got Sasha on as well, who's going to help with some of the questions. So please put them in the chat and we'll do our best to answer all the questions. So the first one was asking, someone was asking what was the name of the development. I think this was right at the beginning. And the first development was the Vines, wasn't it? Remember that, the Vines, because that's where all the vineyards is and everything. And the one that followed that was Quivero Gardens, by the same developer, but two different developments.
Yeah, Vines is nearer to Lagoa, and obviously the Carviero Gardens is nearer to Carviero. Not far distance between the two. So yeah, same developer, same finishes, and all furniture and turnkey, all ready to go.
And they're saying the Vines is 40 square meters, so are the studios.
Well, the 42 square meters inside, but there's a separate bedroom. But the one-bedroom apartments were 52 square meters, but they've all sold. There may be one left on those. But the only basic difference between the two was the fact is they're 10 square meters, obviously bigger, but they don't have a door on the bedroom, the studios. But they're not studios, as I would say, one room. You've got your lounge, you've got your open plan kitchen, and then you've got access into another room, which is the bedroom.
Yeah, and they've made it so you can put a door on there as well.
You can put a door in after you get the habitation license, yeah.
Yeah, so a door can go on there. So this one I can't really answer, but I'm sure Sasha or John can, or maybe Sandy. So looking 20 to 30 years ahead, are there any flooding mitigations measures being considered now because of anticipated effect of climate change?
Well, I would suggest on this side of it, the building regulations without of the Ria Famosa is you cannot build a property 500 meters from the coastal line, and that's for coastal erosion. Because it's tidal on the Ria Famosa, it's a completely different thing. And they don't have coastal erosion of the land, and it's tidal as well. So there's like a barrier from where the Ria Famosa is out to the Atlantic Ocean. So I'm not an expert on this, but I would actually say, I mean, we can ask the developer that question in more detail if the person wants more information.
But it is kind of protected, isn't it?
It's all protected there.
Because it's like there's a long stretches of beaches and islands that protect the coastline, and it keeps the sea warmer. Yeah,
I mean, I've got a boat in Oleau that I go out onto the islands, and my license doesn't take me out to go out to the seas on the other side of those islands, because once you go out there, then you hit the currents of the sea of the Atlantic Ocean. So you're quite a way away from there.
Don't want to add anything there, Sasha? You agree with that? Oops, we need to. Sorry, Sasha, we can't hear you.
I was asked that question before, and I read a report, but I can't remember the details of it. But the rise in sea level, because we're talking about the main body Atlantic, was so minor that we're talking 30 years from now, will barely have any effect whatsoever. I think we're really looking at a century from now where this might have some sort of impact, but 30 years is just not. It's too short a time period for it really to have any effect.
Thank you. And we've got hi Sandy. We're really excited about our unit in Rear View. Spectacular development, and great sales team. Woohoo! Well done, Sandy. And thank you very much for that. So we've got someone asking us if they can have mortgages. Mortgages are available on all these properties that we've shown. We can, there's no difference. You can be from any country, and buy any of these properties. We have a mortgage consultant, Jose. So if you contact him, he'll be able to talk to you about it. And it is good to get a pre-approval to find out how much you can spend beforehand. So even if you're undecided on which property to buy at the moment, And if you talk to him, he'll get you an approved mortgage, and then one of the team will be able to help you find out which unit will be best for you. So from what you've learnt over the last few months, which parts of Lagos is not eligible for the golden visa in terms of low density classification? Do we know this?
Well, so the current picture is we had last year we had an assessment which was saying that basically the whole of the Algarve was classified as a low density zone, even though there was nothing specifically in writing in the rules and regulations concerning the golden visa that said that. They were saying that certain pockets which had low density, I think it's less than 100 people per square, or less than 10 or less than 100 people per square kilometer, will be classified as a low density zone, but that the whole of the Algarve was classified in that category. But we only got that that sort of opinion from one department in Portimao, Foreign Office Department in Portimao. And so we were fairly confident that that would apply for the whole of the Algarve. But that was before they had decided to change the rules concerning the golden visa and effectively terminating the golden visa in its current form at the end of this year. And so now our assessment basically is that it is too risky to go to assume that the whole of the Algarve is a low density zone. So in other words, we should assume that Lagos is not a low density zone. There are still 1 or 2 areas in the Algarve which are definitely classified as low density zones, but they're not touristic areas. So they're not going to be, areas that you would want to buy a property, for example, for investment. It'll be more for something if you wanted to live there. So there are 1 or 2 pockets that are available, the far east, the far west, in the hills. So that's basically our assessment as it stands today.
Thank you.
There was a question a moment ago, sorry to interrupt, Angela, about rentals.
Yes, someone was asking, do we do rentals?
Yes, we do, but not to confuse you, but the simplest way is the Vines, the Carriera Gardens, Amendoera, all come under a touristic license. So if it's under a touristic license, the developer will manage and do the rentals there for you. The other developments, we've got most of our clients are renting through us, and we do everything there.
Yeah, and you can contact the team, Megan or Veronica, and they'll go through the rentals, their after sales and stuff like that with you, and be able to explain the whole service. And we have also done a webinar a couple of weeks ago, and that is on YouTube. So if you want to learn all the ins and outs of the rentals, please do look for that and watch that on our Ideal Homes International YouTube channel. Someone's asking if we can help them with a virtual tour of some of the properties, as they're not in Portugal right now.
Well, yeah, there's quite a few. We've done quite a few virtual tours of most of the developments, haven't we? And we've got 3D imagery of ones that are in pre-construction.
Yeah, and if you want it personal, we can do it so that you're on your phone and you're walking around with a consultant, and they can chat to you and point out different areas, and you can ask them questions. So it's basically like being here, but just not physically. And so quite a good way to look at property, really. The UK has just changed the quarantine requirements for visits to amber listed countries. Do you know what the Portuguese requirements are? I can't answer that one.
Well, as I believe, I mean, we can check everything on the website, on the internet. But as long as you're vaccinated, have got the certification, and you'll need the test to go back again, you can visit.
Well, there is people here. I think it's more the quarantine issue of when they get home. So a lot of people obviously it doesn't matter because they go home and they're perhaps retired or whatever, or they work from home.
But at least in the UK now, they've lifted that as long as you've got the vaccinations.
All right,
2
okay.
vaccinations.
So there's no quarantine.
Or 1 vaccination. There's no quarantine going back to the UK.
All right, okay.
As of July the 19th, I think. As of July the 19th, on amber list countries, there'll be no quarantine required.
All right, I think that's the one thing that people were concerned about more than anything. So we've got good afternoon, hope you're all doing well. As I have noticed, the properties on sale or highlighted today are for holidaymakers and basically for rentals. What I am looking for is a property to settle down in Portugal, someplace close to civilization, schools and shopping centres. Do you have any upcoming properties at Caldas da Rainha, either 2 or 3 bedroom? You can let me know. So actually next we start as season 3 next week on IHTV, and that's more we're doing an episode on villas, which is probably what you're looking for. But I mean, a lot of these apartments and these products that we're selling, people do actually live there as well, don't they? It's easy living. Yeah, easy maintenance and things like that. And the apartments are spacious. They've got a lovely outdoor spaces and things like that. So a lot of people are choosing to live that way instead of the individual villa these days. But we do have villas as well that you can see next week.
Yeah, I mean, I'd recommend if someone is interested in a particular type of property, let's say a villa, that they just go to our website and have a filter out for their preferred options and see what comes up, and talk to us about the properties that they see that they might like, and we've got a sort of very professional listings team. So if there's something that's missing there, we might be able to go out and list it for you and add it to our portfolio, and then present them to you either virtually, with a video, or obviously if you come out here, we can set up a day and show you the property. So, yeah.
Hello, what is the name of the hotel John was out with Sophia, and where is it? And this lucky person has just put a deposit down on a unit at Rearview. Congratulations. A very, very nice property.
Well, the hotel is Cabanas. It's just called Cabanas Hotel, I think. I'll check on that. But it's in Cabanas, and it's on the, as you come down on the western side of Cabanas, towards the airport side. And it's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. I can't believe how busy it was, really busy. And it's just been open, I think, less than a week.
When is Adega and Donna Maria expected to be completed?
So Adega is expected to be completed at the end of July in terms of the build itself, but then we need the final sign-off paperwork from the local council. And that, it's difficult to make a prediction exactly when that is. Sometimes it can take 2 weeks, sometimes it can take a month. So it's difficult. So I'm looking at, I would say, sometime in August, when people will be able to take possession of their property in Adega, hopefully a little bit earlier than that. And then Donna Maria, the second, is completing in late spring, early summer 2023. And it's on schedule as we speak right now.
Okay. And someone's asking if we're planning to open an office in Lagos. And yes, we are, hopefully, very soon. This year, definitely. We'll be opening an office in Lagos. I mean, obviously, it's going to be nice to have another office for sales and things, but also it's going to be in Adega. So we've got a lot of rentals there now, so we can run the part of the rentals side of the company from there. So there could be people on hand a lot easier, basically for people to go to. So yes, that will be happening. How do you see the long-term investment potential of the eastern region of the Algarve versus, like, say, Cabanas versus Lagos?
Well, in my opinion, the eastern is a little secret gold mine that's going to grow. It's going to grow slowly. It's not going to grow rapidly. Lagos is now getting to the point where it's going backwards because the plots are not there anymore. So it's developed. It's still under the great demand, but the east is less build area. There's more build areas there. So I can see the east growing. I can see it growing.
Yeah, the thing with Lagos, the prices will go up for ready-made. So once they're all built, people don't want to let go of them because there's nothing else.
It's resale in Lagos is almost impossible.
Yeah. So that'll make them go up. Whereas in the east, the Easter's becoming more popular, isn't it? It's
Yes.
becoming,
Yeah.
people are hearing more about it. I mean, the whole of the Algarve, I mean, it's 120 kilometres wide, long. There's not a massive amount of property here. So whatever you purchase, I can guarantee it'll be sought after and will make money, because we've got so many people wanting to come here.
There's more demand than there is property.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, one of the reasons why the Algarve is a relatively small place in terms of properties, in terms of the amount of inventory, is because building regulations are very tight, right? You just can't build anywhere. I mean, you've got massive areas of land close to the beaches, which are just impossible to build on. If it was Spain or something, this would be completely packed out with apartments. But Portugal is very different. They really want to protect the environment. So that does mean that, you know, your investment, you know, is likely to continue to grow, you know, over the coming years.
And the other thing is, you know, you do get built more. I tend to think the Algarve is more low density, low rise. You've got Faro and Portimao, that is high rise, but the majority of the Algarve, rather than get planning permission to build big, tall skyscrapers, they don't allow it. They keep it low rise.
Absolutely, but that was when they had those are the regulations of the 1980s, right? And they soon cut that out, and you know, and that's why, you know, demand is far outstripping supply. As real estate agents, for us, it's very frustrating, because, you know, we have lots of very interested clients wanting properties, and we're always having a problem showing them a good number of properties because they're just not available.
Someone's asking, what is the name of the builder of Donna Maria? Camera shy Nunu.
Nuno Vermelho. So just to set the scene, so Nuno Vermelho is actually the cousin of Gonzalo that John was talking to. Their fathers are brothers, but they're completely independent businesses. They've both been in the building luxury properties for the last sort of 35, 40 years, all pretty much exclusively in the Algarve. They're all pretty much of equal quality, but you know, the devil's in the detail. And some people might prefer to be buying a Gonzalo property because of the location or the style. Some people may prefer a Nuno property because of the location of the style. But when it comes to, you know, marks out of 10, they're pretty much identical.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any developments in the Eastern Algarve that have beach access and you don't need to take a boat to the beach? But yes, Rear View.
Rear View.
Yeah.
Rear View.
It's probably the only one that has its beach.
Yeah, it has a beach, or you can get a boat and go to the little beaches or the islands. It has actually got, I think, from Rear View to actually walk to the beach, you go along one pathway along the front of the water, and it'll probably take you, what, 5-minute walk?
Yeah.
Something like that. So yeah.
I mean, I can't say right now in the Algarve how rare having a frontline development like Rear View is. This is a rarity for a new development to be able to be built so close to the waterfront. It really is a unique project. So if you really want something front line, the Rear View is the one.
Well, as Sophia has said, it's probably one of the last frontline properties available.
Yeah, and I mean, Fusetta is a lovely place. I think Fusetta, they still they do the barbecues on the restaurants barbecue outside while you sit round smelling the fish. And as soon as it gets to about 11 o'clock in the morning, the whole of Fusetta has an aroma of like fish and coffee, and really nice in it, so that you just want to eat or something. But it is a beautiful little fishing village, and yeah, like I say, a lovely beach with it as well.
In fact, well, we had lunch a while back.
Yeah,
let's cross the road, bring food.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, cross the road to bring food to us. Yeah, quite dangerous, really, but it's not very busy.
The train to Lagos.
Yes, if you want to catch the train to Lagos from Faro, how long does it take, and is there any connection to the airport?
Once you come out of the airport, you would need to get a taxi. which is, it's literally a 5-minute taxi drive, but you wouldn't be able to walk it from the airport. But it's in Faro, the train station. It's not a quick journey on the train. It's a slow, pleasant, 2-carriage, small train that potters down to Lagos. I would say it will take
about an hour and a half.
Hour and a
I would
half.
say about an hour and a half.
I was saying an hour and a half, but it may be a little bit longer. Maybe a little bit longer.
Can't you get the fast train that goes to Lisbon?
No,
It
no,
don't-
that
goes
turns
up.
right and goes
Yeah,
up. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But I mean, and there's Ubers here and things like that as well. That you're not, wherever you are, you're not that far from airport.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, taking the train across the Algarve is more because you want the experience of it, right? You want to see the Algarve. You've got the time, to potter around, and it's not, the train is not because you want to get from A to B quickly.
No, no.
But there are other ways of doing that. An Uber, a taxi, a coach. The train is because you want to experience it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you've got a push bike, you can. There's an area on the train. You put the bike in there, storage area, and you just go along and get off 3 stations, 4 stations, and ride back. It's only a small little train.
I mean, across the Algarve is just one track, so the trains, when they pass each other, have to pass each other at the train stations. Where the track splits into 2. So one train has to wait there for the other one to pass by before it can continue on its journey.
Can you comment on the strength of the rental market regarding 2-bedroom versus 3-bedroom?
All right.
Yeah. There isn't that much difference actually between the two if you're looking at your return on investment. A 3-bedroom will generate you more rental income in the summertime by the virtue of the fact that it's a 3-bedroom, but a 3-bedroom is generally speaking a little bit more expensive to buy. A 2-bedroom will generate you a little bit less in the summertime, but you're more likely to be generating more weeks in the wintertime on the 2-bed, because there'll be smaller groups of people coming, and they're more likely to be renting a 2-bedroom rather than 3-bedroom. But with a 3-bedroom, you have the option of closing off one of the bedrooms and then renting out in the wintertime as a 2-bedroom. So when it all sort of work, you do all the calculations, the actual return on investment is probably on a 2-bedroom ever so slightly more than a 3-bedroom. So if you were a absolute pure investor, and that was the only thing you're looking at numbers, then a 2-bedroom would probably be the one to go for. If personal usage is a factor for you and you prefer to have something a little bit larger, then certainly a 3-bedroom. But the differences are very minor.
Okay, we've got one more question, and then we will get off. Is it easy to drive around?
Oh no, no. If you haven't been to the Algarve, driving in the Algarve is an absolute pleasure. And there's no traffic jams.
No,
Really,
there's no cars on
cars.
the motorways. I mean, you get on a motorway sometimes and you might not see a car.
No, it's really, I would say they're not Latin blood where you think the locals will be sort of.
You mean they're not Italians, John? Is
I'm trying to be diplomatic here. Yeah. So you don't have any problems with argumentative, things. I just think the only thing you have to watch is make sure that they don't often use the indicator. That the locals do not often use the indicators and the mirrors.
Yeah.
Simple as that. It's easy.
Yeah, I love it because it sums up Portugal. It's like there's not many places, especially in Europe, where you go, well, especially where I come from in the UK, where you would stop to talk to your neighbour in the street while you're driving along. It's so relaxed and laid back, and it's lovely. It's different, but it is really nice.
Driving is pretty good here, right? It's not it's not an aggressive. It's not people are not driving aggressively. It's not people are not speeding all the time and ignoring on traffic. you know, on zebra crossings and so on. I mean, I remember when I first came here, you know, decades ago, it was a little bit different. But I think that the Portuguese have really absorbed the sort of European Union way of doing things, and they've become much more reasonable in their behaviour when it comes to driving.
Well, they've put roundabouts in now.
But they stop at roundabout to take a photo of the roundabout. I love it. It's like, they'll just get out here and take a photo. I love it. I mean, you get that more in the countryside and that rather than in towns.
I was saying, apart from the built-up areas of Ireland like Dublin, etc., I often find driving here is similar to Dublin. Everything and the way of life is so laid back. So,
of course, it's different if you go to Lisbon and so on. You know, then there are traffic jams all over the place. You know what I'm saying? But if we're talking about the Algarve, you know, the motorway is a toll road. And, you know, the Portuguese haven't got the money to spend on that. I mean, most of the time, you just have the motorway to yourself.
Yeah.
So getting around the Algarve is just incredibly easy.
Yeah.
Incredibly easy.
It's basically a road and everything comes off it. You don't worry. It's like, I don't worry about getting lost because I know I'm not going to get lost because you're going to find where you are eventually. Actually, I know what you're going to say.
There's a link. No, I won't say that. No, there's a link into this actually. So keep watching next week on IHTV, where we'll actually be given a car.
Yes.
Won't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's live the lifestyle.
So not just ideal homes, will be ideal cars for you.
Yeah.
So you can help with the cars.
So yeah, thank you for joining us today. And so please look out. The link will be going out for season 3 on IHTV episode 1 next Thursday at 5 o'clock, and then we'll have questions and answers after that. And we've got a new client, a new buyer that's going to be looking for a house with us. So we'll start his journey, and so we'll see you then. Have a great week, and we'll speak again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.